Jimmy Wales is a renowned internet entrepreneur who's best known as the co-founder and promoter of the non-profit encyclopedia, Wikipedia. He's admitted to being addicted to the internet and is a passionate believer in its power and relevance as a tool to spread knowledge in today's world and for future generations.
Jimmy Wales, you and Wikipedia won the Princess of Asturias Award for International Cooperation. Another award, growing every year, it seems.
Yeah, well, we're quite happy about this award because it's for international cooperation, which is an aspect of Wikipedia that's really important to us as a part of our culture, it's a part of our community spirit, but it's often not recognized. So people sometimes, or they often think of us as an internet phenomenon, a technology phenomenon, but we really think of ourselves as more of a cultural phenomenon and about international sort of people working together globally. So it's nice, yeah.
How much of Jimmy Wales is in Wikipedia?
Well, that's really hard to say. I mean, I do think some of the early values of Wikipedia are still reflected in Wikipedia. So I tend to be a very reflective and thoughtful person. I don't like political debates that are one side yelling at the other side and everybody's being very extreme. I like to say, well, no, let's actually stop and understand this first. That's obviously a value of Wikipedia, is to try to really seek that neutral presentation, to understand first before having an opinion. So.
But do we want the neutral? Surely we want to be stimulated. We want that argument. So politics moves on by arguing.
It's very interesting, but I believe very strongly that people want both, and that actually one of the mistakes that's been made in the media, particularly I now live in London, and so the newspapers there can be quite sniping at each other, and it's all sort of that kind of thing. It gets a lot of attention, and obviously we know online, clickbait headlines, you call it, get a lot of attention. And yet Wikipedia is the 5th most popular website in the world, and we don't run sort of outrageous articles to get people's blood boiling. So I think people want both. They want a bit of spirited debate, but they also want actually the background information. So, for example, for me, if you take an issue like Obamacare, the healthcare reform in the U.S., you can turn on any television sort of news program or look at any newspaper and you'll see sort of ranting editorials for and against. It's actually very hard to figure out what the hell is it exactly? What exactly were these reforms? It was enormous and complicated, and Wikipedia provides that, just a basic description of what is it, and then we can fight about it because we actually know what we're talking about. So,
of course, you're providing knowledge, and knowledge is power. Could be a little bit of a dangerous game, giving us all that power, empowering us with that knowledge.
Yeah, that's great. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that what we are doing is giving people the ability to access lots of information, lots of knowledge to improve their lives, both by learning more about culture, literature, science, also political matters. Because one of the things that we see around the world is that the internet and the new communications tools are giving rise to sort of popular rebellions. But we also see people really struggling forward to say, look, here in my country, we have sham elections and the same people have been running things for 40 years. And in Europe or America, as flawed as things may be in this way or that way, you have a change of government that's peaceful. Ideas that people support do ultimately get expressed. How can we get there? What's wrong with our institutions? And so that is a deep question of political science that's not answered by going out on a street corner and protesting. It's answered by really saying, okay, what are the right checks and balances? How do we form a proper government that will actually tend to be protective of human liberty and so forth? Well, we're only a tiny piece of that, but I hope that the internet, by giving people access to knowledge, means that they're less vulnerable to the demagogue of the week in various places around the world.
I'm thinking of how, we've been at school and you all remember those teachers that really inspired you to learn. I mean, the internet, it's a very flat, dull, uninteresting way. I just pick up Wikipedia, I just read it. There's nothing comes out and hits me.
Yeah, but people do read it, and they get quite passionate about it. I think for many people, they're a bit tired of inflammatory things and so on, and they actually just want a calm, sane presentation of the facts. And also the massive comprehensiveness of Wikipedia means there's something interesting for everyone. Whatever you're interested in, you say,
You see, looking at Wikipedia, looking at your page in Wikipedia, but I don't really know the man. I don't know what your dark moments were. I don't know what your high moments are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the interesting things about Wikipedia is we say we want to be the sum of all human knowledge, and sum meaning summary. But there's so much more, right? So much more to culture. I mean, the experience of a fantastic presentation of Hamlet is a world apart from reading about Hamlet in Wikipedia, right? On the other hand, going to see Hamlet without any background, without any cultural understanding and so on, you miss a lot of the nuance. And so the two hand in hand are a fantastic experience. And so I think that it's absolutely right. Like if you want to understand a person, like really understand them, you need more than just the Wikipedia entry. It'll give you the basic facts.
You mentioned the sum of all knowledge, and you've said you want to get that available to every individual in the world. I mean, that's a huge strategy. It's a huge task.
It is, and interestingly enough, I think it's one of the reasons we've been successful is that it's a big, bold, exciting idea. And I think if it were more limited, people wouldn't quite be as inspired by it. But it does drive our work. We know there's, in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be the next billion or possibly even 2 billion people coming online. We need to think now about how can we support them. What does it mean for people who previously had almost no access to knowledge to have the whole internet in their pocket because they're coming on mobile devices. And so that vision of trying to reach as many people as possible in every place in the world is it's really important to us. And for me, it's part of what makes Wikipedia really meaningful is to say this is actually a moment in history where we have this fantastic tool. I think when most people first saw the internet, they thought, oh, this is fantastic. This can bring everyone together as one planet. We can all learn together and so on. And then, in the dot-com boom, it seemed to be mostly about ordering dog food at home and sort of nonsense like that. And Wikipedia is about that fundamental vision to say, wow, we've got this amazing tool to bring people together, to share knowledge, to understand each other, to understand the world. Okay, great. Let's do that then. That sounds like a fun thing to do. So that's what we're up to.
Jimmy Wells, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Great. Thank you.